So wait lang. Okay, so yun nga guys, for today I gathered you and our main topic is intro to risk management. So topic for today would be risk management, and at the same time, we have objectives na kailangan natin ma-meet at the end of the discussion. So I'll be sharing my screen in a bit. And so please let me know if you have questions. And lagay nyo muna sa chat, or if urgent siya, unmute nyo lang sarili nyo para tawag dito, ma-cater ko agad yung questions. Okay, so let's start. So for intro to risk management, ito yung pinakauna kong gusto nyo malaman nyo. So here are the top reasons bakit nasusunugan ng mga newbies or traders. So unang-una sa lahat, lack of knowledge or no entry or exit strategy. Next will be insufficient capital or masyadong maliit yung capital na ginagamit natin to trade. Sorry, wala ka marinig bro. Rick, try mo mag-headset bro. Okay. And then the last reason kung bakit nasusunugan ng mga traders is greed or overtrading. So greed or overtrading means yung tipong up ka na ng, say for example, $20 during the trading session and yung capital mo is 100. So if you think about it, up ka na ng 20% pero you want more. So sa kagustuhan mong mag-create ng more profit, you keep on trading para ma-meet mo yung ego mo. So that's one of the reasons kung bakit nasusunugan talaga yung ibang traders. Mind you, I'm talking about not just newbies, pati na rin yung mga seasoned traders. Hold on, sorry.
It would be like in the mood everything. These people dapat ang parents
Okay.
who have like
So next,
I the purpose, I make people happy.
so to address number one, lack of knowledge, no entry or exit strategy. What do we need to know?
Why not?
Or what do we need to do? Sorry, sino yung maingay? Sorry, wala kasi akong co-host eh. Isa lang ako. Sino yung maingay? Okay na, wala naman na. Nag-mute na, no? Okay. So, ulitin natin. Bale, what do we need to do para ma-address yung pinakaunang item? So, that will be, you have to know what's going on in the market. So, what I mean by this is, you have to learn how to use your resources, such as maybe investing.com, so you can find out news or yung mga current events na nangyayari na could be financially impacting. For example, we have CPI, NFP, and yung mga data releases ng mga companies na prominent sa Amerika na would actually project USD strength for weakness. So, mahalaga yon na malaman mo siya or maintindihan mo siya kasi it would help you identify kung ano yung magiging trend ni market. If the market is going to be bearish, going down, bullish, going upside, or if it would be going sideways. Pag sinabi natin sideways, naglalaro lang sa isang range, hindi malaman kung pupunta sa baba. Basta nandun lang siya. So, sabi ko nga dito, kung bago ka sa trading or if you're new to trading, seek professional help from seasoned traders / signal providers. Aminin naman natin kasi we have what we call confluence as we say. That means na meron kang isa, dalawa, or tatlong bases that will help you decide kung mag-buy ka ba talaga or magsasell ka. And that's up to you kung paano mo hanapin yan. Dito sa community natin, we have people that are actually well-versed in fundamental analysis, that's me, and people well-versed in the technical side of trading, and seasoned traders na talagang makakapag-provide sa'yo ng healthy insights. So, welcome dun sa mga bagong sali lang. Ulitin ko po, recorded yung session. So kung may na-miss out kayo, sasend ko na lang yung recording ng video. So next. So ito yung itsura ni investing.com. So makikita nyo dito yung tinatawag nating earnings calendar or yung economic calendar. And as you can see, from left to right, naka-state dyan yung time na customizable kung anong gusto mong makita time frame. Tsaka makikita mo kung gaano kalaki yung impact ng news na yan. So, 1 star is low volatility, 2 stars moderate, and 3 stars high volatility. So, pagka, for example, alam mong may high impact news for, say for today, and maliit lang ang capital mo, you don't need to necessarily trade pagdating ng release ng news. Kasi kung bago ka sa trading, kailangan mo maintindihan na kapag may high impact news, you expect that yung market would actually be moving at a very rapid rate. So diyan mo makikita yung move ng 200 pips and above just because someone released data, just because Fed Powell said something sa Fed Reserves yun. So madaming possibilities. Pwede kang ma-wipe out kasi kapag hindi ka hindi ka familiar sa gagawin mo every time. Sorry, Oliver, you have question?
Hello po. How would you know na it's a high impact news po?
Okay, so again, when you go to investing.com, merong legend dyan. If you look at what I'm presenting, sa lower right, merong stars dyan. So from 1 star, low volatility, 2 star, moderate, and 3 star, high volatility effect. So, nakalagay naman dyan sa mapping eh. Bale may rating system si investing.com or kahit anong platform na tignan nyo kung gaano ka-risky mag-trade during the time ng merong news na yan. So there's a reason I showed you guys kung ano yung itsura niya, a little bit of explaining on what you have to look into. So again, intro pa lang naman to, hindi pa siya sobrang himay na himay, surface level information pa lang. So it's more on getting to know what it looks like and how you identify. Okay, follow-up question guys? None? Okay, let's move forward. So, kanina, minimension ko yung sinasabi natin entry at exit strategy. So sa trading, may tinatawag tayong pending order. Kabalik na rin siya ng market execution. So alam ko na-explain ko na to sa ibang webinars pero para sa mga bago, we have 2 types of orders. Si market execution, self-explanatory, means if you open a trade, that's market execution. Mag-activate yung trade mo as is during the time that you enter the order. Number 2, pending order. Pending order is you assigning a specific order mag-activate kapag ka na-hit yung specific price. So we have what we call buy limit or sell limit. So pag buy limit, say for example, you're buying gold and inassign mo 2012. Pag hit ng 2012 na price, ma-activate yung trade na ginawa mo. So, yun lang yung condition na pwede siyang ma-activate. So, kumbaga meron siyang parameters na ikaw magsaset. So, the power of pending order. Sabi ko nga, a pending order is a good way to buy or sell any asset at a specific price of your choice. It helps you strategically execute trades based on your following strategy. So, since we have limitless here, isa siya sa perfect example ng pending orders or someone who executes trades with pending orders. So bakit nga ba mahalaga yung pending orders? Kasi when you're following a specific fundamental or technical analysis, you're already expecting the asset to move at a certain price. So pag na-identify mo na mag-hit doon yung price, you can decide if you're gonna follow the trend or you're gonna go against it. So yung preference mo na ideal buy or sell, yun yung purpose kung bakit tayo mayroong pending order. Question again, Oliver? Sorry.
It's not me po.
Naka-raise pa kasi yung kamay mo eh. Okay, thank you.
Sorry po.
So, ito yung itsura ng pending order sa MT4 sa desktop version. So, from what you can see, just always make sure na yung symbol na tinetrade mo yung nasa pinakataas. You assign the volume. So, 0.01 yung pinili ko. Stop loss and take profit. You don't need to necessarily put stop loss and take profit right away. Pero, advice ko lang, gawin mo yan pag may high impact news. Tapos, gusto mong hulihin yung moment of reversal. Pero kung magte-trade ka naman na pagtutuunan mo ng pansin, you can always adjust stop loss and take profit. So, basically, that's what it looks like. So, next. Na-mention ko kanina na when it comes to trading, importante kasi yung tama ba yung lot sizes na ginagamit ko against doon sa capital ko tsaka yung risk to reward ratio na tinatawag natin. So pag-uusapan natin yan. So next, sorry kung medyo malabo pero ito yung legend map para malaman mo kung risky ba yung trade mo according sa magiging ano mo, sa magiging capital mo. So as you can see, for $100 deposit or $100 na capital, I would flag 0.01 to 0.05 mas low risk kasi manageable siya eh. So, ano lang yan, parang 1 cent to 5 cent per movement. Then, kapag medium risk na for $100, would be 0.1 or 0.10, which is medium risk kasi 10 cents per movement lang. And again, kung sinasabi ko, may vary depending dun sa asset na tinetrade mo. Pero you get the figures, bale, yung unang tatlo lang yung pwede mong gawin pagka gumawa ka na lang 0.2, 0.5, or 1, high risk na yun for 100. So, as it goes by, ang pinaka magiging proper observation mo kasi dito is the higher your capital goes, the more flexibility you can get in the market. So this will have to serve as a reminder to you na kung ano yung capital mo, dapat kabisado mo kung anong lot sizes lang yung limit mo. Kasi if you go over that, leverage is a two-edged sword kasi. You can either win a lot or you either lose a lot. And kaya nga tayo nandito to learn how to manage risks. Magandang question yan, Sir Ibrahim. So, I would say yes. Applicable to sa gold pa rin. I'm saying yes to this kasi the way we trade naman in the VIP group for gold is napakatutok namin sa movement. So, ang gagawin namin palagi is we update you kung anong lot size ba dapat gamitin mo. Mag-adjust ka na lang kung medyo mas malaki ang capital mo. But at the same time, basta, we strictly monitor the trades naman. To the point even where we send you guys a message, a PM, kakamustahin kung ano yung trade or whatnot. And if it so happens na nandun na kayo sa ganung trades, please, cooperate. Huwag kayong mahiya magtanong kasi the more na you're hiding a loss from us being your mentors, mas lalo kayo namin hindi matutulungan. And sabi ko nga, learning is a two-way process. We teach you skills and you teach us what you need to know. Especially pag execution. So, yan. I hope na medyo mas naging clear para sa inyo kung ano ba yung magandang example ng lot sizes per capital. So, let's move on. So, this is what we call R2R, risk to reward ratio. Basically, it represents yung difference ng what you can gain over what you can lose. So, for example, yung value ng SL mo is actually a $20 loss and then your take profit is actually going to result to a positive 40. So, ang risk to reward ratio mo niyan is equals to 1:2. So you lose one, but you gain twice of what you could lose. That's the figure. So, alam ko na-mention ko na din to sa previous webinar na you always have to use an R2R equivalent to 1:2 and above, but no less than 1:2. Bakit? Kasi kung alam mo rin naman na magte-trade ka, magsaset ka ng stop loss and take profit, dapat may mas malaking gain dun sa panalo kaysa sa talo. Kung magde-decide ka man na 1:1, huwag ka na lang mag-trade. Kasi ibig sabihin nun wala kang confidence dun sa setup na nakikita mo eh. Pero if your confluences actually point to you buying, then mag-risk ka na ng 1:2. So that's how risk to reward ratio works. Kayo guys, hindi ba bago sa inyo tong term na to? Nagagamit niyo ba tong concept na to before? Ano? Especially sa mga sumusubok na mag-trade dyan. Okay. Well, terms are new, pero though terms are new, I will help you understand kung paano mo siya gagamitin. So, let's do a little bit of math. Let's do probabilities. So, sabihin natin, sa 5 trade mo, ang ginagamit mo is risk to reward ratio na 1:2. So, ibig sabihin yan, sa 5 trade mo, pag 5 beses ka natalo, magiging, sige, consider natin na tigwa 1% yung loss na 1:2. 1% of your capital. So that means, sa 5 trade, down ka ng 5%. Pero, pagka, kahit sabihin natin, sa 5 trade, 3 trade lang dun yung napanalo mo. Pero 1:2. Up ka ng 6%. So even though natalo ka ng 4%, up ka ng 6%. So yun yung importance ng paggamit ng risk to reward ratio. Kasi dito mo talaga ma-manage yung risk mo or how you can balance wins versus losses. Okay? I see some people on the chat. Sorry Oliver yung calculation, siguro sa PM ko na lang sasagutin yan kasi medyo mas personal question yan. We have to get along with the topic muna. Pero if you follow my concept, ganito na lang, you don't really need the exact figures, pero just think about the percentage. So 5 trades means iba-ibang currency. Not necessarily. So ibig ko sabihin ng 5 trades is, kahit say for example, nag-trade ka ngayon sa gold, 2 sa Euro GBP. So yung 3 mo sa gold, panalo, yung 2 mo sa Euro GBP, talo. Ang risk to reward ratio mo is 1:2. So ibig sabihin, yung 3 panalo mo, up ka ng tag to 2%. So up ka na ng 6%. Tapos yung 2 trade mo, tig 1% lang yun. Gets? So bali ang isipin nyo lang pag risk to reward ratio, ano lang palagi, kailangan mas malaki yung napapanalo mo kaysa dun sa natatalo mo or yung nire-risk mo na mawala versus dun sa nire-risk mo na magkaroon ka. Ganun. So I think we can move on. Okay, so this is one of the applied examples yung pinakita ko kanina on how you can trade low risk. So kung makikita nyo dito, let's do a quick math again. So I gained how much? 21.57. And ang capital na ito account na to was 500 US. So nagamit ko lang sa trades was 0.17 lots. So ang total na profit ko dyan was actually 64.17. So sa 500 USD, up ako ng 12.83% increase. So binigay ko tong example na to kasi dito makikita nyo na balikan natin yung graph kanina. Capital ko is 500, di ba? So I could go as far as 0.20 para masabi kong low risk pa yung trade ko. 0.17 lang yung total mo. So that means na finalo ko yung concept ko ng magkano ba dapat ko i-trade sa capital ko. So that's followed, one. And then, I also assigned stop losses and take profits. So meaning, I have already planned na matatalo ako kapag nag-hit to and mananalo ako pag nag-hit to. You can notice na medyo mas malayo yung FLNTP kasi tutok ako nung time na yan eh. Bale, ready ako mag-adjust anytime. Pero what I did was, nung satisfied na ako dun sa mga outcome ng trades, cleanhouse ko na lang siya manual. So not bad. For 1, 2, 3, for 5 trades, I was able to come up with $64 and some change, which helped me make $12.83 increase on a single trading session. So ito yung okay na example ng tinatawag natin na risk management from learning how to trade, kung magkano yung dapat mo i-trade from your capital, risk to reward ratio, and at the same time, yung execution kumbaga ng lahat. So it should look something like this. So next. So guys, remember, when you started trading, hindi tayo nandito para magsugal. Kasi sabi nga dito, a trader looks for consistency. So we're looking for something that could be profitable, but it could be repeatable, and it could be back-tested. Tsaka makikita mo rin siya na may reasoning kung bakit mo siya ginagawa. Thus, consistency or it has confluence. We're not gamblers na naghahanap lang ng quick profit. Well, sure, sige, mag-scalping ka. Pero pagka mag-scalping ka, please follow some sort of technical analysis or understand the fundamentals para alam mo kung nasan yung trend. That will help you. So, punta tayo dito. Bale, dinidiscuss ko to, what are the 4 types of forex trader? Kasi, part of risk management kasi is trading the session that you can trade. Kasi kapag magte-trade ka, kailangan yung undivided attention mo, mabibigay mo sa trading. So for example, meron kang 9 to 5 job. You could be a day trader. So this means na you trade a few positions within the day, pero hindi mo siya iiwan overnight. So ito yung mga may nakaset na stop loss and take profit, and gumagamit talaga ng risk to reward ratio like what I showed you. So same din naman, swing trader. Ito medyo mas malalaking capitals nito. Swing traders actually hold position for several days to weeks. Ang pinakaiba lang kasi, si swing trader, mas malaki yung possible niyang mag-gain kasi malaki nga yung capital. Tsaka mas mataas na risk to reward ratio ginagamit. Swing trader tsaka position trader, may halimbawa ko sa mga nag-crypto. Tapos next naman, position trader from weeks, months to years. So perfect example ng mga nag-hold ng BTC, di ba? And then scalper. So yan tayo. So seconds to minutes, buy, sell, open, close, open, close. So kung mapapansin nyo, the more na mas exposed ka dun sa pagte-trade, looking at the screen, placing trades, trying to make profit, mas nagiging stressful. I'm talking about being a scalper. So that means na the more na nag-require si trading sa'yo ng more attention, more undivided attention, the more you are prone to making mistakes. But that doesn't mean na titigilan mo. Kasi the more mistakes you make in trading, trial and error to eh, the more you actually learn. So, to the next part, at a conclusion. So in order to properly manage risk, you must, number 1, sabi ko, invest in knowledge, read news, and face the charts. Kasi without doing this, you don't have the foundation na pag-intindi kung ano yung ginagawa mo and how you should do it. So number 2, understand exactly how much you can risk with your capital. So pinakita ko kanina yung tamang lot sizing na pwede mong gamitin, depende sa capital mo. And it's very crucial as a trader kasi pagka na zero ka, hindi ka makakabawi kung hindi ka magka-try ulit. So your job is to always protect your capital. Kasi yung losses, yung wins kasi, dadating at dadating yan. Pero mas importante kasi is how you handle your losses. Or how do you recuperate from that, or rather, how do you rather bounce back from a mistake? Or kung paano mo siya i-minimize. So number 3, you should identify your trading style. Trading only during sessions you can trade with undivided attention. That's why I discussed the different kinds of traders. And number 4, control emotions. Allow yourself to make mistakes you can learn from. So, sabi ko nga sa inyo, trading is trial and error. Walang magaling sa umpisa. So, kung naranasan mong masunog, matalo ng medyo malaki-laki, don't hate the game. Hate the player. Medyo cliche siya, pero ganun talaga. Part of the game yon, tsaka just make sure to learn from your mistakes. And at the same time, kaya nga nandito tayo sa community, we give our best to provide you education, signals na rin, so you can make profit from it. And at the same time, if you think na you're stuck in a difficult trade, hindi mo alam yung gagawin, tap us para at least we can help you manage the risk or, at least minimize it for you. So, ayun, actually, that's my presentation na.